Hi. So let's talk about our homework. Let's get you set up for success today in class. What do we got going? So today we're going to do all this stuff here. We are going to look at this. What's that thing called? This graph first, and ask the question. By looking at this graph, can you figure out how fast each segment is actually traveling? So I got the graph here. Just by looking right here, there's no numbers, right? So can you figure out how fast the graph is actually traveling, or the object is traveling? And the answer is no. There's no numbers. So without numbers, you can't see how fast it's traveling. However, if you know what's going on with this, with the shapes, the question I would have next for you is, are you the type of person that takes the Sparky quiz and you do it to get 10 out of 10? Or are you the type of person who takes a Sparky quiz and does it so you know what's going on? So maybe check yourself today. Look at this. Go through these items. If I was here, that's what I would basically be doing with you. Is say, hey, do you know all of these things? Right? Have you committed this to memory? Right? Or are you just a person who's interested in getting a 10 out of 10 on a quiz? Remember, essential skills, right? ES is going to be 70% of your grade, right? And so the classwork / homework is only going to be 30% of your grade, right? So, okay, you're saying, okay, I got tens in all my quizzes, but then I don't know what I'm doing, and I bomb my tests. Don't you want to get an A in this class? Come on, you can get an A in this class. Let's bring it. All right. So what I'm saying is, do you know how these fit here? So make sure you know those patterns. Make sure you can do that. Make sure it makes sense to you. If it doesn't make sense, ask me, email me. Take a screenshot. Take a picture with your phone. Of course, you don't have your phone in class, but take a picture with your Chromebook and then email me. And I'll help you with that. Okay. The next thing we're doing today is we are going to go over Sparky Quiz 1.1, which we just did. I'm sorry, we just did that, so we're not doing that again. The next thing we're doing is we're actually going to take notes. And if we go to Sparky Quiz, that's actually my AP class. If we go to the Sparky Quiz for us right now, you have Starbucks Math. And so Starbucks Math, I'm going to go over these notes with you right now. They won't be exactly the same. They'll be pretty close, but this is going to be tailored to your paper. And so when we look at this here, right, we already took these notes. So your job right now is to follow along with the notes. Now, what did you do? You already did this. You already said, okay, I'm going to go fast to Starbucks. I'm going to wait for a little bit. And then I'm going to go slow back home, right? And so we already had these done, right? So now we're going to do some math on this, right? And look at these sections and actually say how fast. So we said before, can you tell how fast we went? And the answer is no, because there's no numbers. But can we put numbers on this? So what we're going to do on this case is you're taking notes on this page. So you're going to continue your notes, but our notes are going to be down here. So this is notes page 2. And the first thing we're going to say is Starbucks is 200 meters away. This is for our notes. Starbucks is 200 meters away. So question number 1, and this is question number 1 on your quiz as well. If you look at your online, right here, it says Sparky Quiz 1.2. And so Sparky Quiz 1.2 is the next quiz. Your numbers will be different than what I'm going to go in the notes. These right here is you're going to put your numbers. These are going to be your numbers below. Now, off of your quiz. Right now, I'm giving you the notes on how to do this quiz. But in a little bit, you're going to go to the computer and you're going to attempt to do the quiz. And your notes will go here. Every time you do notes, you have to show me an equation, right? If you're doing work on a test, you have to show me what equation did you use. And then you have to do substitution into the equation, right? Equation substitution. And then you're going to give me a solution. And your solution is always going to have units, right? And so that's what we're doing on this paper after we take notes. Okay, let's go back to the notes. Same questions, exact same questions. So the first question we have here, first question we have here is, if Mr. Morrison was to run, I'll write that down. If Mr. Mo ran 200 meters in how many seconds? In blank seconds, what's his velocity? Okay, what's his velocity? Okay, so what we do is we're gonna, where's the notes in the previous class so I can make sure I don't miss anything. Hold on a second here. I see it. Okay, so if Mr. Morrison was to run 200 meters in blank seconds, what's his velocity? Okay, so what we gotta do on this one is we say, okay, how many seconds was this, right? How many seconds was this, right? So what we're gonna do is we have to find our time here, and our time is going to be that amount of seconds. Now, in our paper, each one of these was worth 20 seconds. So this gave me time, this gave me time. Every one of these marks is 20 seconds. So this is 20, 40, 60 seconds. So this is 60 seconds. And I can go down here and I can write 60 seconds. Okay, what's his velocity? So I'm going to show you a couple things, how to answer this question. So this is our original equation. This is y equals mx plus b form. xf equals vt plus xi. Remember, we're taking these notes for class. xf equals vt plus xi. And now what I want to do is something that you would try to do if you were in AP Physics. But I'm going to show you how we get to another equation. So there's an easy way to do it and a hard way to do it. Now, this way here, which I'm going to do, is a little harder. But over here on the right, I'm going to do something that's a little bit easier. But you got to watch. We're taking notes, and it'll make sense to you hopefully in the end. Okay, this x right here and this x right here, right? We'll find out what they are, but they're related to this 200 meters because 200 meters is talking about x. And 60 seconds is related to this because time is talking about seconds. And then on a test, I would almost always do this. I would circle these things and I would name them. So this is a test question. I circle the distance. I call it X. I circle the time. I call it T. I circle the question. I forgot to put a question mark. What is the velocity? I circle the question and I say that's a V. Okay. So that's the one I'm trying to solve right here, velocity. So I'm trying to solve for this. So in the world of math, what would we do? I'd want to get this by itself. And that's the hard part, actually. So follow along. Maybe this makes sense to you. Maybe you can do this algebra. To get this by itself, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to minus xi on each side. If I minus xi on this side, that goes away. And I get vt equals xf minus xi. I'm going to, careful here. I'm going to switch sides though. I'm going to take this and put it on that side. I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it on that side. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I want to solve for v, right? So I'm going to put vt over here. This is gone. Vt equals xf minus xi. I'm going to put on this side. So hope I didn't lose you there. All I did is switch sides. Okay, now you guys are probably onto it. Okay, you see what I'm doing. I still want to solve for v, right? I'm trying to solve for v, right? So if I want to solve for v, I got to get rid of this t. And you guys probably know how to do this. Now, I'm going to divide each side by t. Divide each side by t. And so that will cancel. And I get this. I'm going to rewrite it again. I'm going to bring it up here so I can solve it. I'm going to say my average velocity is equal to delta x over t. And that's that. And you might be going, well, how did you write that all of a sudden? Well, hopefully you know that that delta x means how far did I go? And that is the same thing. Mathematically, this is how far I went. It's always final minus initial. So this is saying, how far did you go? Well, you know how far I went, right? So we went 200 meters. So now we can solve it. We went 200 meters and we did it in a time of 60 seconds. And so that cancels that. I get my calculator and I get 20 divided by 6 equals 3.33. I didn't have to cancel the zeros. I could just do 200 divided by 60 and I get the same answer, 3.33. So I get 3.33 meters per second, and this is when I'm running. Okay, that's part one. This is the first part of the thing. This is number one. If Mr. Morrison ran. Okay, part of my story. This is my story. In a little bit, you're going to have to tell your story. And so this is section 2. So number 2 says, describe what's happening in section 2. Describe what's happening in section 2. And so I'm going to describe. Mr. Morrison, I'm going to call myself Mr. Mo, is sitting still, standing still, is standing. But I'm not just standing, I'm standing for an amount of time, right? So standing for blank seconds. And it's this amount of time right here. That amount of time right there. So how did I get it on your paper? Remember, every dot is 20 seconds. Every mark is 20 seconds. So here it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 8 times 20 is 160 seconds. So this is 160 seconds in this case. So Mr. Morrison is standing for 160 seconds at Starbucks. So I'm not standing at home. I'm standing at Starbucks, 200 meters away. Okay. Number 3. You see how the progression's here, right? Did you not see that? Was that not on the screen? Okay. Describe what's happening in section 2. Mr. Mo is standing for 160 seconds at Starbucks. I don't know if I was on the screen at that moment, but you get the idea. It's more important you're seeing this anyway. Anyway, whatever. Okay. So section 3. Now you should know that section 3, I'm going back home and I'm walking. It's slower, right? So how do we get this right mathematically? So some of you guys, this is where you're going to make mistakes. So watch yourself. This is where you're going to make a mistake because you're going to do this. You're going to say, okay, how fast did Mr. Morrison walk home? So how fast did Mr. Mo walk home or back, back to, it's not home, it's back to my home is my room, walk back to B46. So this is where you're going to make your mistake, right? And actually I should write B46 because it's not home. Okay, you're going to do this. You're going to say my average velocity, right? Where did you get that? You got that from this equation, which is a good equation, right? My average velocity is equal to delta x over t. Now I'm going to do something here. I'm just going to leave it blank for a second. I'm going to be a little bit tricky because this is where you're going to make a mistake. Guaranteed. Like literally, who are you? You're the one who's going to make a mistake because at least 1/3 of you, who are you? You're the one that's not going to make this mistake. I don't know. Which one are you? At least 1/3 of you will make this mistake and you'll get the right answer, but you'll be wrong. How's that possible? Get the right answer, but be wrong? Yeah, that's what will happen. Watch and see. So here, what is my distance over my time? So my distance is, this is 200. You can't see it. This is 200 meters, right? And so this is 0 meters. So what's my distance? All right. Sounds obvious, right? So that is 200 meters, right? Maybe you're thinking, is it 200 meters? And what's the time? Now that time, we'll have to count this, right? We'll have to count this again. That time is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, it's the same amount of time. 8 times 2 is, or 8 times 20 is 160. It's 160 seconds again. That's just a random drawing, right? I mean, that's how I drew it. That's fine. So it's 200 meters over 160 seconds. And you're going, I got this, Mr. Morrison. It's the same as before. It's distance over time and distance over time. And so now I get my calculator and I'm walking 200 meters and divided by 160 seconds equals 1.25. Now this is slower, right? So this is walking. And you put this into the computer. You put this one in the computer, and it's like ding, ding, ding. It'll give you a green check. I'm going to give you a green check on that. Check, check, check. And you put this one in the computer like it is now, and it's going to give you a red X. And you're like, what? I know it's right. And you'll check your math 18 times, but you'll be wrong. So what's the problem here? Some of you guys know. Think about it. What's the problem here? This is not 200 meters. Check it out. This is why this is important, because this idea says I'm going to take my final position minus my initial position. So what was my final position? This is my final position. My final position is 0 meters. So I'm going to put 0 meters here minus my initial position. What was my initial position? My initial position was 200 meters. So what is 0 meters minus 200 meters? It's a negative. It's a negative 200. You can't see it. What is 0 meters minus 200 meters? It's a negative 200 meters, and that makes this answer negative. So be very careful. Be very careful on that one. You're going to miss it. You are going to miss it. Guaranteed. 30% of you guys will get that wrong, even though I'm yelling about it right now. And this is still 160 seconds, right? So this is 160 seconds. But we're talking about this. If you don't know how, I mean, look at this. Is this a negative 200 or positive 200? This is a negative 200. You can actually see that. But that's what this is. That's what this is saying. It's saying negative 200. I'm going down 200 meters. Okay, almost done here. There's an extension question. And the extension question is, okay, let's say Mr. Morrison has a walking speed of 1.25, right? So now Mr. Mo walks to Taco Bell, which is right next to the yogurt shop. It used to be called John and Bonds. If you look at my notes online, it says John and Bonds. But I think John and Bonds is now called Crazy for Yogurt. Anyway, right around that area, Bel Air, right? It's 2.5 kilometers away, but we don't use kilometers, right? We use meters. And so that's 2,500 meters away. His velocity equals question mark. Velocity equals question mark. So what we do here, oh, right. No, sorry. That's not true. That's not true at all. His time equals question mark. I want to know how long it takes me to walk, right? I already have my velocity. My velocity is going to be here. This is my velocity for walking. This is my velocity. I'll call it VW. Velocity when I'm walking. Wow, I'm always off the screen. This is my walking velocity. I'll call VW here real quick so you can see that. And this is my delta X. This is how far I'm going to walk, right? So that's my VW, my delta X. And I want to know how long it's going to take me to do this, okay? So this is what we do. I'm going to show you two ways. We write it like this. V equals delta X over T. And I can just substitute and solve. Literally, if you're somebody that's not confident with your math, just find the equation and then substitute and solve. Just substitute right in. So my velocity, I know that. That's what I said. My velocity is my walking velocity. I'm walking. And so I'm going to put 1.25. Don't put negative because I'm going away from school. Just remember, away from school is positive. Oh, that sounds negative because when you're going towards school, it's negative. I don't know. I never thought that before. Anyway, so we're using positive. We're going away from school, and our distance is 2,500 meters. And our time is what we want to find. Boom. Solve for time. Cross multiply. You'll be done. Now, what if you want to rearrange the equation? Let me show you how to do that real quick. So if I want to rearrange the equation, remember I'm going to solve for t. And there's a little trick called cross multiplication. And if you do cross multiplication, literally, no, this is like following the math rules. I'm going to times both sides by t. I'm going to divide both sides by VW. I'm going to cross multiply. They're just going to switch positions. And so I'm going to get t equals delta x over v. And that is going to be 2,500 over 1.25. And if I do that or this, I get the same answer. So in this case, 2,500 divided by 1.25 gives me 2,000. And that's 2,000 seconds. And I'm curious, is that legit for like walking to Bel Air? So I divide that by 60, and that will give me 33 minutes equals 33 minutes. So that actually is kind of legit. I probably would take about a half hour to walk to Bel Air. Ta-da! We did it. And so it's done. Okay. You're not done though with the day. What you're gonna do right now is you're gonna hopefully take these notes. These notes are found online as well. You know, pretty much the same thing. And you're gonna take it, and you're gonna take your paper, this paper, and you're gonna look on Sparky Science, and your numbers will be different. Okay. So if we look on Sparky Science, right, and I'm gonna go to it right now. And this is the notes. If you need to see your notes, remember to get rid of this panel, makes it a little bit bigger. And then this is the quiz. Now this quiz has numbers, so we can actually add numbers. On this paper, everybody has the same time. So the time here, the total time is 260, right? And if you count these, each one of these is 10 seconds. So when I ran there, it's 10, 20, 30, 40. This is 50 seconds. And then here, when I go to there, let's go back to the quiz real quick. You can count these dots, right? Just like we did before, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And this time frame is 150. And so it goes 0 to 50, 50 to 150, and then 150 to 260. And that's how it goes for everybody. However, that's different. The 280 is different. You shouldn't write 280 on your paper unless yours says 280. Yours might say 220, 240, 260, 280. I don't know, something like that. That's your number. Put your number there and then begin to do the quiz, right? Time, same for everybody on this quiz, but the number is different. So you're doing the quiz. You're seeing if you know how to do it. I'll actually be driving. My wife will be driving, and I'll be on the computer on the road. I'll have access to my computer on the road. And so if you have questions on this during class, you could probably email me, and I will try to check them for that hour and a half when you're doing class and I'm on the road. And I might be able to get back to you. So maybe. Okay. So you're doing all this, right? This is actually, I was supposed to white that out and make a blank because your quiz might also say something different than 800. Your quiz could say 800, but your quiz might say 600 or 400 or something different. So be careful on that one. Remember, these quizzes you can take as many times as you want. If you start to make a mistake, you can just restart it. You have to click 4 times. Where can you see my hand? You have to click 4 buttons to restart the quiz. You'll click submit quiz, submit all and finish, submit all and finish, finish review. And then if you scroll down and try again, it'll say reattempt quiz. And you can try it again. I don't care if you get 10 zeros in a row and you get a 10 on the last one. I'm giving you the highest score. I'm going to give you a 10. Okay. A couple things on the quiz. So now we're taking the quiz, right? And you're putting answers here and you're putting units here. And it's giving you some funny symbols. And those symbols are important, right? So those symbols mean this. Please pop up. Okay. Those symbols mean this. If it's correct, you're going to get a green check. That's awesome. I've got the correct answer with the correct units. If you write something like time is 100t, it's going to be wrong because it's not 100t, it's 100 seconds. By the way, units have to be lowercase in this case. These are all lowercase units, and it will mark you wrong if you have uppercase. And the last one is just plain old wrong, and you'll get the red X. And so that's what that says. It's on your agenda. You can see that. And we're working on this quiz, and we're trying to get a 10 out of 10. But wait, that's not all. There's one last thing you have. And that last thing you have is, and some of you guys will finish early, is something called a one pager. And a one pager is a place where it has a description here. And you're going to put a bunch of summaries in a booklet. And so if you look through this whole thing, this has summaries from the whole year in some examples. And if you click here, it will give you examples from previous years. And so this is an example of a football player. So this football player, your one-page example is, let me just show you here real quick. You're going to have a notebook. And the notebook is going to be like this. Thank you, Jolie, last year. She did a great job. And this is called a three-prong folder. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. This is called the three-prong folder. And you need to buy one of these. I have them in class for $1. That's pretty expensive, actually, because you can get them at Walmart for 50 cents. So I'm selling them for $1 because you're not supposed to buy them from me. You're being lazy. But I mean, if you want to spend $1, I mean, that's only for late people. Like if you wait a month and you still can't get it, and you'll be like, okay, I'm breaking down. I'm gonna bring $1 and give Mr. Morrison. That's a little bit like just how rules, power of like demand, right? What do they call that in whatever? And I move on. This is called the three-prong folder. And so you're going to put all these different assignments in here. And it's supposed to be pretty, like Jolie did, right? Jolie made 2 mistakes on her first one. I kept this because it's really good. But she made 2 mistakes on her first one, and she got a 6 out of 7. It's very neat, but it wasn't very pretty, number one, and then she goes, okay, Mr. Morrison wants me to make it pretty. This is a summary. This is like a booklet. This is a presentation. And I'm like, Jolie, now you got it. You got a 7 out of 7. 7's your max. She got a 6. It's nice and neat, but she actually made 2 mistakes. She's not supposed to draw the exact same pattern as mine. This is fast, stopped, slow. Jolie, you did great, but you're not supposed to do the same pattern as mine. Do a little bit different pattern. So let's look at the football player one. Oh, by the way, that's going to Dunkin' Donuts. So you're doing the exact same thing. Exact same thing. It looks exactly like the notes. And you're not turning in next class. You're turning this in always on test day. Never like the next day. Always test day. This is like, hey, my presentation is ready. You're not presenting it. You're just giving it to me and I'm looking at it. Okay. This one. Oh, this one's also fast, stopped, slow. It's not supposed to be the same order. So this one is a little bit wrong too. Just do something unique. Okay, this one is running on the football field, right? Twisting the ankle. So laying down, writhing in pain, right? And then walking off of the field, right? And so same exact idea. Very nice. And then now walking to the cousin's house as the extra, right? So 3 things on the graph. 1 extra gives you 4. And that's something called your one pager. And you can work on that to the end of the period. And that's what we're doing today. So what did we do? We went over Starbucks 1.1. We did Starbucks 1.2. We took some notes. We're working on a 1-page summary booklet for homework. You should be done with 1.1 and 1.2. And you should be done with your one pager. Maybe you get it all done in class. I hope you do. You email me with questions. If you're in honors, you can sign up this week or maybe next week as well. But hopefully you have a great day and a great weekend. And I will see you next week. Ciao.